I bet you as me have been bothered by the stack of consent forms we barely read at the doctor's visit. We signed them trusting the system is there to protect us. Sadly, that trust was earned through painful lessons. Less than a century ago, innocent people were denied of what we now see as a basic human right, the right to give informed consent. Today, I will trace how protections for human subjects arose from tragedy and highlight the core regulations that turn ethics into practice. You will be surprised to know that modern research ethics did not come from goodwill or common sense, but as a response to human atrocities committed in the name of science. In the 1800s and early 1900s, doctors tested new drugs or surgeries on prisoners, orphans, the poor, and other vulnerable groups without consent. Science advanced rapidly, but at the expense of people's suffering. The most extreme examples came during World War II, when Nazi doctors performed brutal experiments on concentration camp prisoners, mostly Jews, Romani people, people with intellectual disabilities, and anyone seen as inferior. Victims were subject to freezing, deliberate infections, poisoning, radiation, surgeries without anesthesia, or worse. These experiments caused immense suffering and death with little scientific value. After the war, these crimes were exposed, the perpetrators tried, many found guilty, and even sentenced to death. From this emerged the 1947 Nuremberg Code, a 10-point statement defining the limits of medical experimentation and laying the foundation for modern research ethics. It introduced voluntary informed consent for the first time and reinforced the duty to avoid unnecessary harm. Tragically, abuses continue to happen worldwide. In the United States, the Tuskegee syphilis study that spanned from 1932 to 1972 misled black men with syphilis and denied them treatment, even after penicillin became the standard of cure, just to observe the natural course of the disease. This led to untreated infections spreading to partners and infants, but that was not the only study of its kind. Other well-documented studies included the Guatemala STD experiments, the Willowbrook hepatitis studies on children with intellectual disabilities, human radiation experiments, etc., all illustrating the urgent need for ethical oversight. This global lack of regard for human lives led to the 1964 Declaration of Helsinki, the World Medical Association's key policy on human research, emphasizing independent review and the protection of participants. In the U.S., outrage over Tuskegee helped ignite modern reforms. The 1979 Belmont Report established three core principles: respect for persons that recognizes informed consent, and autonomy, beneficence, and justice. These three principles guide federal policy till today. In the Common Rule, basically, adopted in 1991 and with the latest update in 2018. This common rule covers all research on human subjects, requiring institutional review or oversight, detailed informed consent, and extra safeguards for vulnerable populations. The FDA does not follow common rule, but their equivalent is 21 CFR, or Title 21 of the Code of Federal Regulations, that governs food and drugs in the United States, ensuring that drugs and medical devices are safe, effective, and reliable. Key regulations include protection of human subjects that ensures that safety and rights of participants in all FDA-regulated clinical studies, good laboratory practice that guarantees the reliability of non-clinical lab studies, the good manufacturing practice for pharmaceuticals that ensures consistent production and control of drugs and biologics, quality system regulations that sets requirements for medical device design, production, and post-market monitoring. There is also good clinical practice that is an international standard for clinical trials, protecting participants and ensuring credible data. Every scientific discovery, from vaccines to gene therapies, depends on public trust. Upholding ethical principles and quality standards protects participants, preserves dignity, and ensures that science advances responsibly. For healthcare professionals and scientists, understanding these frameworks is not just academic. It equips us to apply ethics in real-world research, safeguard human lives, and ensure medicine advances responsibly. Without ethics, progress is nothing more than a history of suffering disguised as science. Thank you.